All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the show. Come on in and take your shoes off. Let your hair down. Stay a little bit. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit about the NBA Finals. Just maybe go over and talk about that with a group. Start out a little bit. We're also going to talk about the wrap-up in recruiting as the Tide and the Tigers sign some guys onto their deal. Virginia Tech gets a $75 million donation. My goodness, man. And also Saban's meeting at Congress. We're going to go through a little bit of clips on that and let's kind of see if we can decipher, and what he's saying. I think we all got an idea of what Coach Saban is trying to do. So first off, right out of the gate, absolute war is being waged in the state of Alabama right now, and it has nothing to do with what's happened in the Saturdays in the fall. Okay. The Iron Bowl never actually stops. And right now, the recruiting trail is literally a battleground. Auburn is coming alive, throwing everything that they have at locking down a top 10 class, while Alabama is fighting tooth and nail to protect their turf and reload their elite talent. After last year's number one really overall class, but USC had more players, so they put them at one. But talent-wise, Bama had the best class in the nation last year. And they have a lot of those guys coming back on defense. Auburn they're going to have a totally new offense and a completely new secondary. A few guys up front on defensive lines are looking to add pieces to that. We're going to look at the pieces that they're adding here. We're going to talk about that and the rivalry part of it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now because we are diving straight into the trenches of this recruiting war, and we'll go through we'll also go through some top ESPN 300 recruits. What school has what? So let's break it down. The thing is here, Alabama, Auburn, it's all to be talked about. We're going to look at what all we know about the high rates of the stakes that are in the state of Alabama, but right now, the intensity is at an all-time high. Auburn is playing 0 games, although they've lost the last handful to Alabama, looking to keep that trend going, and the rivalry has been dominated by the Crimson Tide. They're out on the recruiting trail. Coach Golis and staff incredibly aggressive, no visors, straight business attitude. They're pitching immediate playing time, an electric stadium atmosphere, we know, because Auburn fans show up every Saturday, and massive opportunities to elite blue-chip prospects. They want to completely flip the script and steal the crown right away from the boys up in T-Town. But do not think for a second that Coach DeBoer and staff is just going to be set back and watch it happen, because they know what's at stake. They know the pride and the legendary status that the Crimson Tide carries, not only in the state of Alabama, but across the world. Crimson Tide are doing exactly what they do best, reloading an absolute monster. They're flashing those 4- and 5-star credentials, pitching championship standard and the brand of Alabama that everybody knows, the scripted A, and fighting to keep the best local and national talent locked down from California to the coast of Georgia. It's absolutely a chess match, played with dynamite, and every single component is a massive statement. The question is simple this: who is going to blink first, and who is going to own the future of the SEC as we know it right now? Okay, so here's what we know. We know that right now, as ESPN Top 300, ESPN Top 300 classes right now. We will pull them up over here, and I'll take a look at them. And right here, and here we go. Right now, number one, we'll just start at the top. Average right now of their ratings is 92.67. Pretty good piece ahead of everybody. Texas A&M, 5 stars on board, 9 4 stars and 4 threes, total of 18 players already saying they're committed. Now, we know that all this could completely fall apart, and nobody's going to do any of this, and everybody goes somewhere else. Texas A&M sitting in right now at 1, Oklahoma, Miami, Texas Tech. Florida Gators at 5. Coach Summerall was smacking the gates down at an average score of 90.8. Notre Dame right out of the top 5. Ohio State, this is 27 class. Ohio State, USC, Oregon, Michigan finishing up the top 10 with new coach there from Utah. I think he's going to do a good job there. They have 10 four-star guys at Michigan now. Clemson, Coach Dabo Swinney battling in there at number 11. They're being the second ACC class, Miami at 3, Clemson at 11. Then you got UCLA hanging in there at 12. Some Big Ten getting in there with 20 commits. Auburn in there with 14 commits at 13 for the SEC. And I think Florida and Auburn are running, of course, A&M's number 1. But Florida and Auburn right now are kind of running the top 15. Texas at 14, Georgia close behind at 15. Ole Miss, Penn State, Nebraska, VTech, we're going to talk about them. Their $75 million donation. Where did it come from? What is going on at VTech? Washington Huskies at 20. Cal at 21, Wisconsin 22, Kentucky swinging in at 23, Louisville, Bama finishing out the top 25, and right behind them is LSU, Minnesota, South Carolina, Indiana at 29, Missouri, Vandy, Pitt, Tennessee 33, Tech at 34, Colorado, Coach Sanders 37. Anybody else here worth mentioning? Florida State 43, Kansas at 45, picked to be preseason high, Mississippi State at 48 with 7 commits, and Rutgers running out the top 50 for that. So what do we know about that? It's very interesting. Now, to expand upon those notes there for just a minute more, y'all hang around, hit the darn like button. Ben, what are you doing? Hit the like button. I think Alabama's run game will be better this year. The story's out. I mean, honestly, it's because I keep it real. I mean, just being honest. We don't know. Now, I can make an educated guess off of what I know, what I've seen, the guys they have in that I know. The center, he's got a lot of snaps. The combined offensive line has a lot of snaps, but not together. But, I mean, who does? What team has a lot of snaps at offensive line altogether from last year? Not a lot of them out there, man. So, yes, I think improvement is definitely going to be there. There's more emphasis on it from watching spring and listening to coaches talk. I would think so. The running back room will be good. They're going to have 3 legit backs, 4 good ones, but 3 that could come in and play and probably rotate out throughout the year. Now, ESPN 300 guys. Who has the most ESPN 300 right now? Well, we know A&M is 1. Top 300 ESPN blue chip players. A&M has 12. Miami 9. Notre Dame has 5. Ohio State 8. Bama has 3. Auburn has 6 of the top 300. Georgia has 3. And LSU has 4 right now. Those are all guys of the top 300 class. So that's kind of your own 3 rivals roundup, talking about recruiting battle and that stuff. In-state stuff right now. Just talked on the phone to our top recruiter around the state. Go find Dex Preps at Twitter. Go over and find him. He's on Facebook a lot. Just type in Dex Preps or Dexter Talbert. Sharon, me and him just been talking about a in-state player, tailback man you may know about, Nehemiah McCray at Maplesville, Holy Smoking Jack Rolls. We picked him up last year. Yeah, I think last year. We found him and seeing some film on him. Well, no, maybe in year before last. Was he freshman? Anyway, I saw him in a playoff game. You just can watch, and I'm not saying I'm just some, phenomenon that I can just, see elite talent and just pick it up and run with it, and it's awesome. But I got a pretty good eye for it, I think. When we first started getting film from him, 6'1", 190. He's now Nehemiah McCray from Maplesville. He's 6'3", and 240 pounds. He weighed 233 now, and recently he could be 6'5", 250 to 260 with low body fat, compared to Julius Peppers, Myles Garrett, or Javon Kersey. Peppers, Myles Garrett, and Kersey. This is at a small school in Alabama, Maysville. Lord mercy, you got to keep an eye on this guy. Holy crap. So that's kind of the battleground and the war for Alabama and Auburn, some of their recruits and what they got going on. So let's stumble into this next part here. Now, while the coaches are all fighting the trenches, going down through the boxes, checking them all off, in-state talent, out-of-state talent, the GOAT himself just walked right up the hill, up there, the old Capitol Hill, to deliver a massive wake-up call to the entire country. Retired Alabama coach Nick Saban traded his coaching headset in for a sharp suit and a tie to address Congress on the explosive, unregulated reality of modern college football. As a sport we love, about to completely unravel. Let's break it down exactly what went down in Washington. Now, when Coach Saban speaks, the entire sports world does listen. He didn't go to Washington to play nice. He went there with the authority of a man who built the greatest dynasty in sports history to lay bare the harsh truth about college athletics and where we are at today as a whole. Saban gave lawmakers a brutal check of just how out of control the money has gotten. He revealed that during his first year dealing with NIL, a collective in Alabama, the total pool was about $2-3 million. By the time he retired, that number had skyrocketed to $10 to $12 million. He didn't stop there. He stated that it was and had been since now bailed out of up to $24 to $26 million at Alabama, with some rival schools approaching $40 to $50 million rosters. A&M, Texas, Ohio State, Miami are a few to mention. To paint the picture of Congress, he dropped a quote that perfectly sums up the panic behind these closed doors. And Dexter could speak on this. You can go back and find the show where I had Mr. Talbert on there. Dex Preps, by him on Twitter. It is a dirty, shady, dark alley business still. Players are being bought by the university. That's not at all what NIL is. Coach Saban will soon explain as we click the video here. He is completely all in for players to be paid for their name, image, and likeness through sponsors, through corporations. Example, Bryce Young, Dr. Pepper. No Alabama gear, nothing nowhere, just the Dr. Pepper jersey. That is where it's supposed to be, a neutral feeding grounds. As we see, other players have deals with Popeye's Chicken, to Zaxby's, to Beats by Dre, Milrow. He had a deal with Beats, headphones and earbuds. Saban warned that if the system keeps moving toward an unregulated professional model, athletic departments will have to get their budgets, scholarships, which is now at 105. It was, 85. Bama just scholarshiped a kicker. That's how many scholarships they have now. Olympic sports is the real concern about the overall general identity of sports in general. Because when we say sports, generally most people are just thinking about football. Football is the all-male sport that only men compete in, where golf, girls can play golf too. Some Auburn fans don't understand that. Tennis, basketball, and those kind of things. Football is the grand slam of them all. He stated that the transfer portal has unlimited free agency, unquote, pointed directly to Clemson's recruiting tampering claims against Ole Miss as proof of how toxic the environment has become. Coach Golden at Ole Miss and staff, this kid was on the plains for a week. Absolutely, they deserve authentic NIL money, but the government needs to step in and national framework to stop disguised pay for play. It's a massive story that could alter the sport we know it as, and we love it forever and ever. It's just the way it is and how it's going to be. Now, let's take a clip here. Make sure you hit the like button while you go over here. If you enjoy the content, hit the comments over there. Tell me what you're thinking. Let's hit the old peanut gallery. Is it impossible for Alabama and Auburn to meet each other in the World College Series? No, sir, it has not been. I went over this Tuesday. I saw a scenario. Depending on how they are placed in the bracket, if they're on opposite sides, they could go through and both win super regionals. It could happen. It would be awesome. I think it would be great. So let's hit the play button, Ben. Let's see what Coach Saban has to say.
To know that I'm not here to represent a conference or a team, but to preserve college athletics as a whole. I think we all have to ask ourselves a question: what is our guiding principles for the future of college athletics, including Olympic, women, and non-revenue sports? Things.
That's the question here. What is our ideology for, college sports as a whole? As I stated earlier, college sports is not only football. It is the cash cow, the grand slam, big daddy of them all. The boys basketball does well. Girls basketball at Alabama does well too. But we know where the real money comes from. The unfortunate part is the non-cash supplying sports that we want to say are Olympic sports like track, those type things. I think they're very fundamental to the sports world also. There's plenty of great men and women runners, from wrestling to other sports. We have golf. Auburn just won their second national championship in golf. Those things don't generate a lot of revenue. What Saban's proposing here, if something's not done, the football and maybe basketball are going to tear away and leave these other sports to the wayside. And I don't think nobody wants to see that. Come out of high school, young people are, if they can get scholarships for those other programs to get a free education, that's awesome.
That I think people may not know that are happening in college football that are huge problems. First of all, I think student athletes should profit from name, image, and likeness as long as those things are authentic endorsements. They create branding for themselves. They sign with the company. They do promotions. I think these things are all healthy for their education as well as their quality of life. This bill also creates a competitive balance. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they all have some kind of rules that govern how they compete. It creates parity. It creates, something that gives you the opportunity to have a framework to build a fair play system in, which I think is really, really important. And I think this bill does that. Right now in college football, we have no rules. We have state laws. We have different in every state. We have litigation. The NCAA cannot enforce their own rules.
So what is he saying, man? Basically, well, we've seen what happened with, with quarterback at Ole Miss and him going to come back and play because the state judge ruled against the NCAA. And that's going to be huge for them. He's a huge part of their team and their success they had last year. They did lose some pieces, so we'll have to see how this plays out. But any state can just rule however they feel fit to suit their own. How Alabama, Adebayo was ruled ineligible. He had to leave the team. The judge in state said no. So it don't always benefit just because you have an in-state judge. It's just, assumed, which is not true always. But there has to be some kind of framework, what Saban is saying here. There has to be some kind of framework to where when a case like this comes in, you'll open a book of college athletics rules. There needs to be a we've already had NIL go. We've tried to do that, and now college is already this through the summer and the first of the year. They're trying to go around that. Big Ten is trying to get around that to say, well, it says we're going to give this much. So, but what if this company gives this much, and then this other company gives another amount? Does it mean total amount that a player could get? Because if he can get, only, $1 million, but what if he got $1 million from 5 different places? Well, that's total 5, but it's only 1 million from one particular. See what I'm saying? They're trying to run roughshod, run rule around this crap. And that's not what the point of the NIL. It's not supposed to have anything to do with college. We read in high school forms of Georgia when NIL was passed for high school over there. Me and Burge broke it down of how taxes would work for the kids and how if kids there at Chattooga, for example, went up to that pizza place there in town that's so good, has the brick oven, crushed tomato. Shout out to them there in Lyerly or Somerville. If a kid from Chattooga High School wanted to go there and do an NIL deal with them, they can't wear Chattooga hats or jerseys. They can't present their likeness as a football player. That's not at all what it's for. You can't do that. It said it right in the fine print. So there's got to be some stipulations of guidelines of what's going to be allowed. And it can't just be every state has their own rules. It's not going to work. It's not.
A question, what is our guiding principles for the future? Have a framework to build a fair play system in, which I think is really, really important. And I think this bill does that. Right now in college football, we have no rules. We have state laws. We have different in every state. We have litigation. The NCAA cannot enforce their own rules.
Nope.
There can be legitimate circumstances where you can transfer more than once. I think if you graduate, you should be able to transfer again because you might have a fifth year where you can have more success someplace else.
Right.
But unlimited transfers creates free agency. Free agency with a collective, now you're talking about bidding more for players. And then you've got agents out there that are not certified,
Nope.
that are enhancing players or encouraging players to get in the portal. I can get you more money.
Yeah.
So now we have this unbelievable number of players that get in the portal every year, and we have nothing to control agents. We have nothing to control tampering. Clemson had a player that was on campus for a whole week, and they come and got him off the campus and took him someplace else. We're going to lose non-revenue sports. We're going to lose scholarships. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to have football and basketball succeed, and we'll have club sports for everything else with no scholarships. Yeah. That's horrible. I mean, we can't let that happen. And I think we have to continue to figure out ways that we can raise revenue so that we can keep all sports and all opportunities for all young people intact. So I think medical protection, injury protection, and healthcare are something that's really, really important.
Now, there is a health protection. There is. A lot of people don't know that. But it was one of the ex-Alabama players. I seen a talk with him, and he was there on campus, and somebody was interviewing him or something. And they talked about he something happened to his knee, and he got some money for while he was out. So that is already kind of there. But if they're going to be a real healthcare type system, you're talking about forming some type of union being that's where we're going to, and that will definitely succeed because NCAA can't handle a union type deal because you're going to have a union steward. Okay. So that could be a whole nother can of worms.
But I also think that Congress does not need to micromanage college athletics. There's lots of people out there that can help us do that. Congress does need to fix the mess, and the courts create a national framework so people inside college sports can enforce fair rules. Without legal certainty, every rule becomes another lawsuit, every standard becomes another risk, and the system keeps drifting toward the professional model. I believe we want an education-based model that compensates athletes fairly, protects athletes properly, and still preserves development, competition, opportunity, and tradition. That is what this bill is trying to do. It isn't perfect, and I'm sure many, many adjustments need to be made, and I think there's a lot of people who can add to that. But this is a serious bipartisan effort to bring order to a system that is badly needs fixing.
Yeah. That's kind of that from Coach Mr. Saban there up on Congress. And to finish this off, and we'll move on to the next topic here. I don't, maybe I missed something along the way somewhere, but what is he catching crap about? I've heard some people say Sankey's going to be mad at him for saying what? Because he's not going up there just beating his chest for only Alabama needs to get. They're not even one of the richest schools. I don't even know if they're a top 5, one of the richest schools. Texas Tech is freaking jack wagon loaded. We know A&M is. Texas. It's because of the size of the state and the revenue that they generate. And donors have big oil jobs out there that make hundreds of millions a quarter. We heard last year that their quarterback out there at Tech, when they brought him in, which Sorsby, he's maybe not going to get to play now. We don't know. That's still about the gambling and stuff, whatever's up in the air. He's going to get dividends from an oil company that'll pay him like nearly $1 million a year for like 20 years down the line. That is what other schools are going to have to deal with. How in the world could Mississippi State, Arkansas does have their Walmart brand, but just say Mississippi State. How can they offer a guy to come in and he's going to get like, next 25 years of your life, you're going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars because this stock you're going to get in this oil. That's not what we're about. That is completely insane. Now, next topic here on the list, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for coming by and hanging out here on the show. Virginia Tech, $75 million windfall. We may have a monumental financial explosion in the ACC. Tech has done such a great job, and being able to have that type of money at their fingertips could, $75 million. I mean, we just talked about some of the higher paying schools of the LSU, Texas, and A&M's having $40-50 million rosters. What about this? Coach Franklin. I like Coach Franklin. I thought he did a good job at Penn State. I think he got a little railroaded. I think they want to jump out and get rid of him too quick. So this is just absolute largest single donation in the entire history of the university, a jaw-dropping $75 million gift. If you thought the Hokies were going to sit quietly through this crazy year of revenue sharing and paying players, you're dead wrong. So let's talk about this. A massive influx in cash changes everything in Blacksburg. All right, look. We talk all day on the show about how the Blue Bloods and the massive SEC NIL budgets, but Virginia Tech just reminded everyone they're ready to step up and play with the big boys. The historic $75 million commitment comes from anonymously from a phenomenal fourth-generation Hokie family, with a sizable portion is directed to elevate the university's honors college. The vast majority of this money is strictly earmarked for Virginia Tech athletics. Think about the timing here. The school is currently now marching through their invest to win. That's their incentive, which is a massive 4-year, $230 million fundraising campaign specifically designed to be a modernized day fund to help their athletic departments to compete in this new era. This $75 million gift serves as absolutely rocket fuel for that project. The athletic portion is unrestricted, meaning the school's leadership can deploy it right where they need it at the most. Part of it is flowing directly into the school's newly approved Hokie Ventures affiliation, unquote, a brand new nonprofit commercial entity established to aggressively maximize revenue generation and strategic investments for the athletic department. Coach Franklin said it perfectly in a statement following this announcement the other day. Football is the front porch of the university as all others, and sustained investment is critical to competing for championships at the highest level. The Hokies haven't posted a 10-win season in 10 years, and they're tired of watching from the sidelines. In a landscape where talent goes to the highest bidder these days, having an extra multi-million-dollar war chest means VTech can finally build a structural baseline to protect their roster pay their athletes, and keep the nation's elite talent in state. Pay coaches, great coaches, bring big-time players. If you can grab a big-time quarterback, say 27 class, Bama got number 1 kid, Elijah Haven, he can recruit. He's trying to get Moshawn Sales, a kid that plays up in Indiana that's originally from Alabama. He's trying to get him to stay at his old stomping grounds. The boy's nickname is actually Bama, but the quarterback there you get a top quarterback they can recruit because big-time receivers want to play for them. You get a big-name running back, offensive lineman want to come block for them and be the charging horse for that offensive line. So Hokie Nation isn't just trying to survive the changing tides of college football. They are officially buying their way to the table. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Coach Franklin getting her done over there. What about that? So let's get over here into NBA Finals. Now, I'll start out with this. Not a huge NBA watcher. I used to watch it a lot. Watch a lot of college stuff from old in the 90s, and the Carolina and the Michigan, the Dukes and all that, Lakener, all the guys from Grant Hill. Loved all those guys, to Mashburn, everybody. So to say I know a lot about this, I don't, but I did watch the game, and I'm telling you, I feel like just from a little I've watched through the year, these seem like the 2 better teams. The Knicks go on the road, 105-95, and stumble around there for a little while to go and steal a win at San Antonio. Jalen Brunson is the star. 30 points he had on the night. Real sporadic first half a little bit, and then he bumped his knee, kind of went in and out, went up with 30. Wembanyama winds up with 26, 12 rebounds and 3 blocks. Sounds like a great game, but he seemed a little timid along the way. Cat Towns with 18 points and 10 rebounds adds to the list. Also, OG and Badani had 17 for the Knicks, and then the Spurs kicked in Castle and Harper, 17 and 16. Josh Hart had 8. I also want to shout out to Fox, their other player there that plays them. I heard his name. He had to have 10 assists. But I enjoyed the game. Like I said, I think these are the 2 better teams right now. SGA, OKC, whatever the talk is, Brunson seems to be the man. I don't know how he didn't win just total MVP overall. I don't know. And lastly, about the finals, we'll see how it goes. If Spurs can then, go on and try to grab a game 2, they better get their act together. They could get swept. And I think the Spurs, a lot of people felt like they're to be the winning team of the series. Maybe Spurs in 7. Some people were saying Knicks in 6. I think they've won, is it 15 straight now? The Knicks have won. Brunson's different, man. And just to sum it all up, I overlook at the teams. The Spurs they are young. And I think sometimes young luck is dumb luck. Have you ever heard that maybe? That they can just kind of stumble around and it's like there's much pressure because they hadn't been there, and they don't even know what the pressure is because it's just so new to them. These are some 20-year-old guys. Wemby's 22? What a future he has. Now, I don't know if he was playing a little possum last night. He seemed a little timid at times, maybe careful sometimes, like, hey, we got 7 games. I don't have to go out here and just, blow it all up tonight. But coaches got to know and got to be able to tell them, guys, we're at home. We need to win this game 1. So maybe they got a little nervous down the stretch there. On the OKC overview, I'll have to say they just look like what they are, man. They're an experienced team. They look like they know what they're doing. They play good team ball. This next team is going to be hard to beat. I think they're going to be a hard out. So Yeah, about 30, 40 minutes. Don't sound too long. We're Tuesday, Thursday. Bonus shows, Apple Cast, Spotify. Thank all you guys for watching. Had a lot of people tune in the other night over on Apple Cast stuff. Appreciate that. Ben, what's up, you old rascal USC? Next month we'll begin high school football media day. Yeah. I have to check in on some of that. I have the schedules for Cherokee County's teams, and Dean was going to come on tonight and then go through them, but he had some kind of football event tonight over there where he's at. So maybe Sunday. Come back Sunday. Hey, I'm off Sunday. Yeah, come back Sunday night, probably 6, 7 o'clock, Ben, and we'll break that down. Bring some info with you, Ben. You always bring good analogy and good info with some other teams, and tell us what you're thinking about teams from anywhere. And we'll get into it and talk about it, but we'll have their schedules. And I guess to break the show off on that point there, just from what I've looked at, I love the new alignment here. We've got Cedar Bluff and Galesville, Spring Garden, back in there swinging together. Sandrock's going to stay 2A. So I like overall this region, how they, how it looks old to me, like old school, like, when me and Dean was in school. Sandrock's looks pretty good. They're going to – look, man, Ashley, he's going to – Alec's just going to get better. Alec is and I'm being a little homer here, but I like Alec and his family and his brother Ace. They were great. He's got a real chance this year. Really, he broke some numbers last year, okay, for Sandrock. So, keep eye on them in that region. And Cedar Bluff, Galesville, Spring Garden, I think they lost a lot. All of them. Well, Galesville, I don't think Coach. No, I don't think he lost a whole bunch. He had a lot of young kids. He did lose some. Cedar Bluff lost a few senior players, but a lot of their skill guys, they're going to be back. I think they're going to, swap in some linemen, have some younger guys. But the Twins, the Millers, they're going to do great. Spring Garden, Coach Ragsdale's is great, and their staff, they're going to do a good job. And they're going to have some new faces, man. We're not going to see, we've always had Luke and the Welches and Jacob, John, and it's just going to be a little different, and Cam and them was there. And gosh, man, the Bates boys have been there so long. It's going to look a little different, but the process of getting there is the same. It's work out and run and be in shape and be prepared to play 4 quarters at Spring Garden and play Spring Garden football. So I like that. I like that region. I think it's winnable by any of them. I don't know who'd have a advantage. I hadn't seen enough to really give a good guess. So that's that. Now, Cherokee County's region is a little bit different. I think just by looking at their region games, I think they got a fantastic shot at winning the region. It'll be some new faces. But, Coach Blanchard Bailey's there now, and excited to have him over there, as well as Coles at Cedar Bluff, have new face over there. Have some new faces over there. Excuse me. So I think, that region of Cherokee County is a good region too. I think all the county honestly has, besides the 3 that share a region, I think they all have good shots at running their regions or being runner-ups in the region. So that's what we got. Come back Sunday, and we'll hit it off there. Appreciate you guys. Ben, we'll holler at you then. We'll get Jeff on here Sunday too and see about Ohio State. And they only got 8 blue chippers, man. A&M's got 12. Okay, so recruiting's kind of is where it is. You'll see some stuff trickle in here and there, but for the most part, the 27 class, and once you start practicing, all that's going to kind of go away. So and then you'll see guys come in and really, doing some serious commitment. We'll see how the season goes as their openers, are going to play, and how Auburn's going to do to play Baylor and Atlanta. They need to win that game, man. that's big on recruiting trail, to go out and say we can win. They want to be winners, and they want to get out from this disposition of a decade of just terrible seasons. So Ben says he don't know how Gunners will. Yeah, they did. They lost some guys too. There's some good football up here this way, up around Huntsville area where I am. Hartselle, I'm close to them, and may like to run up there and see them play some. I think Cherokee County comes to Brewer, which is just it's 15 minutes, 20 maybe for me. I love to run over there and love to see some of the guys and some new faces from the old places. All right, guys, that's all I got today. Get the thumbs up on the way out the door. YouTube people, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's real easy and don't cost you anything. And we sure do appreciate everybody from Instagram. I'm on there a little bit, not like I am because it's not seasoned. Spotify, Applecast people, man, we appreciate y'all. So come back and holler at us. Big Truth Talking Thursday. That's what we got. So we'll catch you guys then. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. See you back Sunday.